So there's no aspect of like, it wasn't his fault. Mental health system did it. I'm a Democrat and I can't break ranks on this. Anybody who's seen this image is like, nope, he's guilty. As we know he is, but we're talking about the largest gaslighting operation in America. Here's the polling, and I'm really proud of how quickly we turned this around. These questions were written a mere 30 hours ago, put into the field 29 hours ago. Like we put this out really fast. I was processing this last night while I was on the stream with Walt Disney World Pro. So, have you heard about the recent stabbing death of a young Ukrainian woman named Iryna Zarutska on a train in Charlotte, North Carolina? I think the story with the video, again, this murder happened on August 22nd, I believe, but the video didn't come out until, geez, what, Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday, maybe Monday. 7 in 10 voters heard about the story. Only 25% had not, even though they're terminally online. Less 18 to 29-year-olds had heard about it. Less Black voters had heard about it, but still a majority, 58%. Most of the 65 and older. So this is probably featured heavily on Fox News. It's not CNN and MSNBC viewers because they weren't paying attention at all. There was a complete media blackout. Maybe they saw it on Facebook. I don't know. Now, not much of a difference in party. A lot of Democrats saw it, 66%. Republicans and Independents, 74 and 73. Have you seen a photo or video of Iryna Zarutska and her alleged killer on the train? And the reason I wanted to ask this, you'll see, is that I think that symbols are very important. And I think that the images of her, horrifying though they were, going to have a major impact on the American psyche. Now, I don't know if the Charlie Kirk story is going to push her story out of the current zeitgeist, but those murals are going to go up. People are going to remember this story. It's going to be in the news a lot. And Trump would be wise. And again, people will say, oh, you shouldn't politicize this stuff. I'm a freaking pollster. It's my job. Trump would be wise to lean into this. First off, I think the Senate race is going to be about this because Roy Cooper's already trying to dodge responsibility. And I think these murals are going to be talked about a lot. And I think that Trump pumped the brakes on going into Chicago with the National Guard. But after the Charlie Kirk assassination, I think he's going to maybe potentially reconsider his strategy. 6 in 10 voters have seen an image. Only 36% have not. Again, fewer younger people, which I don't get. And not a majority of Democrats. Only 49% of Democrats, but 68% of Republicans. Now, I think that this is because of the media blackout. This is not an opinion question. It's have you seen a picture or not? And so Democrats don't even know the story exists. 66% said they heard about it. Well, maybe they're lying, but only half of them even saw a photo. And there's a complete media blackout for a lot of the stuff they consume, and it's pretty wild. But we're going to start to heat up here. Police have charged Decarlos Brown, a 34-year-old Black man, with fatally stabbing Iryna Zarutska. Do you believe Decarlos Brown is guilty of murder? 64% yes, 8% no. Massive and overwhelming. I mean, obviously, right? He's standing over her with the knife. There's video of it. But you'd be surprised. I expected a higher number of people who said no. 22% of 18 to 29-year-olds, 18% of Black voters say no, 10% of Democrats, but only 53% of Democrats say yes. So that's the thing. 38%, oh, not sure. Now, remember, 66% say they've heard about it, but only 53% think he's guilty. So a lot of those people heard about it, saw the video, and are like, I'm still not sure. I think it's like they're glitching out. Cognitive dissonance. Republicans 75% to 7, Independents 64 to 7. Pretty good. But here's what I wanted to get at, though, too, is that, okay, we have you seen a photo? People who have seen a photo or video think he's guilty 86% to 4. People who haven't, 31 to 14. Symbols are important. Everybody who's seen this. So there's no aspect of like, it wasn't his fault. Mental health system did it. I'm a Democrat and I can't break ranks on this. Anybody who's seen this image is like, nope, he's guilty. As we know he is, but we're talking about the largest gaslighting operation in America. This is good. This is people who are like, you know what? There are some lines I shouldn't cross. And again, when we're talking about the ghouls who celebrate Charlie Kirk's murder, we're talking about a very small minority of them. The problem is a lot of those people are influential and at the top, and they get engagement from it. That's what drives engagement for them. And so their whole machine is set up to worship this stuff, even though the bulk of their voters don't. And so it takes a death by 1,000 cuts to rob the Democrats of their very loyal, high turnout core through things like this. And that happened during the Biden administration. Trump narrowly won, despite how horrifyingly bad Biden was. But there was more mass formation. There was more effective mainstream media. So things should be moving in the right direction, especially because of symbols like this. Was the stabbing of Iryna Zarutska a hate crime? A plurality say not sure. Only 37%, 17% no. I had no idea what this was going to come out like. And I think this is good because what the hell is a hate crime? It's stupid. Only 27% of Democrats say yes. 50% of Republicans do. 15% no. So hate crime is like, I think, a fake thing. And it's like, well, here you have Republicans supporting it. That's how angry people are. Conservatives, 50% to 15%. I'm pretty sure the idea of hate crimes doesn't fit with conservative values. And yet there you are. Let's go back out and look by image, though. That was interesting. Here it is by Trump voters, 52% hate crime, 14% no. 46% yes, 19% no for people who've seen the photo. For people who haven't, 63%. I don't know. Like, I'm seeing a lot of this for the first time. So this is the big one. In 2019, we asked America, do you support capital punishment? And at the time, 49% did, 36% did not. And it's been a long time since we've asked that question. Again, a lot has happened. 2019 was kind of a relatively happy time in comparison. You know, I guess we still had Mueller and we had impeachment hoaxes and stuff like that. But now we ask this. Federal charges have, and again, America only knows about this case for 2.5 days. Federal charges have been filed against Decarlos Brown that could result in the death penalty. If Decarlos Brown is convicted of killing Iryna Zarutska, should he get the death penalty? 60% yes, 20% no. And so something that was plus 13 is now plus 40. That is really big. Because obviously when you say, oh, the death penalty, people's personal values and identities are stored in that. It's a moral decision. Now, for some people, I'm sure it's a pragmatic decision for some people, but ultimately it's compassion and empathy are the kinds of things that would make somebody say no to that. And anger and justice, righteous anger, righteous fury are the kinds of things that would make somebody want an execution. 60%. Now, gets even better. And as we know, Trump, I don't know if you know this, Pam Bondi filed federal charges. Happened on light rail. It's federally backed. The Department of Transportation has jurisdiction. And I thought for sure that Charlotte was probably going to try and convict this guy too, because I'm pretty sure that there's a race to convict Luigi Mangione because New York Hochul doesn't want the feds to do it and doesn't want the execution. That's the last time I heard about what was going on with those cases. But I think in this case, like, Trump is going to have a quick conviction. And we'll see what happens with the trial of his peers. That could be fraud. But 47% of black voters want Decarlos Brown executed. 28% no. White voters, 62 to 18. No age signal. Everybody across the board is like, yep, execute this guy. 48% of Democrats. A plurality of Democrats, only 28% say no. So capital punishment went from plus 13 among all likely voters to plus 20 with Democrats. This is a big movement. 76% of Republicans, 11% no. So here's the thing. America could get behind this. This actually could be very cathartic. Seeing justice for a heinous act. And yet the media will not budge. They will come after this. The influencers on the left will just amp up the violent rhetoric. I say the word accelerationist, and they're still acting that way. Independents, 57% to 19. Even liberals, 41 to 34, execute him. But what I wanted to see is even the people that say we're too hard on violent crime, even they, by a majority, 53 to 32, want to see Decarlos Brown executed. But if you've seen a photo of him, regardless of your age, party, race, or anything, if you've seen a photo of Iryna Zarutska and her killer, Decarlos Brown should be executed 73 to 14. And people who haven't still want him executed. You never know what's going to bring people together. And I think that this is a lot of broad-based appeal. The suspect accused of killing Iryna, and this one's obvious, but the suspect accused of killing Iryna Zarutska has an extensive criminal record and also has been diagnosed with schizophrenia. Should people with a history of violent crime and mental illness be kept in police custody after they are arrested, or should they be, I'm sorry, it's cut off, or should they be turned loose while waiting trial? And America's like, what the hell? And so for Roy Cooper to blame law enforcement, which obviously did his job, and then for the Democrat primary to be won by the same Charlotte mayor who presides over a system that allowed this guy to go through the revolving door like 14 times. 82% like, no, keep him in jail. Only 5% of people are like, let him go. More 18 to 29-year-olds, 13%. Like Democrats and Republicans, it's like bipartisan. So the Democrat system does this, but 80% of Democrats think it's stupid. That's what's so mind-blowing. That's the problem. This is the gaslighting. This is every day for me to see these paradoxes, to see that fundamentally that Democrats are humans and they believe a lot of the same things that you do. They are just very, very, very lied to. We all are lied to, but they're lied to a lot more than others, man. It's just unbelievable. Trump and Harris voters, they're only like, 11 points apart. It's like bipartisan. If you've seen the photo, yeah, people who haven't seen the photo, they're like, I don't care. Loony people should not be on the streets.